Hello, online crew. How's it going? We're going to talk about groups today with a new version of Facebook. So if you run a group, or maybe you're in a group, or maybe one day you might want to set up a group, then all of the above, listen to today's live because it'll be beneficial for you. So groups is the one main area with the new version of Facebook that has been the most glitchy. So when you move around and navigate groups, it's the one thing that you might get an error message that says, this isn't working right now, or it just doesn't enable you to do something. So I'm going to show you on screen. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go back and forth. So even if you don't run a group now, this will be beneficial information for you. If there's some time in the future that you think it might be beneficial for you to start a group, how you set it up is very important. So I'll go through sort of some of those settings. So this will be beneficial for you sort of across the board, whether you run a group or not. But specifically for those that run a group, I'll share my screen. I'll go from old version to new version. And what I would recommend to you is while you've still got access to the old version, and you do run a group, you want to go and sort everything out now. If there's things to sort out, that'll become clearer as I get through this video. And fine tune everything on the old version so it grandfathers over to the new version before you lose it, like lose some of the abilities, okay? So that'll all make sense in a minute when I share my screen. So just interesting stuff for you guys to know. Keen to know how you're going, guys, with the new version. You loving it, not loving it, getting used to it? Have you got major glitches? If you have, what are they? Would be interested to know how you're going with it. I do want to share just a couple of things before we get into the content. If you haven't heard here or in the group, because I am broadcasting in two different places, on my business page, Helen Martin business page, and my free group, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners, you all want to be in the free group for what we're doing from September 14th to September 30th with our Active Kindness movement. I'm giving out prizes. You could have the opportunity to win life membership into my coaching community and a $100 Amazon voucher, or a month into my coaching community and a $100 Amazon voucher, or a month into my community and a $50 Amazon voucher just for doing something nice for somebody. Can you do that somewhere between September 14th and September 30th? Now, if you want to know more about that, go to Unit 10 in the group. If you're watching on my business page and you're not in our free group, this is what it looks like. Hang on, hold that thought. Da, da, da. This is what it looks like. It doesn't want to come up. It doesn't want to come up. It came up before. Try this one. There we go. So that's the name of the free group. And this is the URL, but it's very long. So just Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. That is the group, free group that you guys want to be in to join us on that awesome movement that we're getting going. As I said, if you don't know what that's all about, you'll hear more about it coming up, but that's September 14th to 30th. And I just want to give a massive shout out to those of you that are undertaking the current 21-day online crew video challenge. We're more than halfway. We're on the home stretch, and you're just doing an amazing job, guys. Putting yourself out there on live video every day for 21 days, coming up with content. I mean, I give you the guidance, but just getting the job done every day is a huge commitment, and I'm just so proud of so many people in that challenge. So I just wanted to acknowledge you guys because you're doing an amazing job. So well done. Keep going. We're on the home stretch to the end of the 21 days, okay? So let's have a look at who's here. We got Heather, hello. Beth is here. Crystal's here. How are you? Hello, Christine. Crystal's one of our life members, as is Susan, one of our VIP mentorship students as well. Hey, Steph. Great question on yesterday's. Do we have to go to that fb.com every time to get the news feed in business page? I did it last night, but not today. So that's where you're going to have to find it. Yes. So it's just, when you go to your normal page, it's just either your personal profile or your page. So if you want to go to that specific news feed where you can, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch yesterday's live, where you can specifically network from your business page. You will have to go to that link, Steph. Yes. Just bookmark it. Like, you don't have to type it in every time. Just bookmark it, save the URL, so you can just click on it when you go to your computer. Good, thank you, Crystal. Thank you for asking. Hello, Gloria, how are you? We've got Sheila, how are you? Good morning, Olive. Well, that's my part of the world. Good evening to you. Hi, Joanne, great to see you on. Hey, Terry. I've been so busy lately. I miss spending time with you in the group. Well, it's awesome to see you on today, Terry. I'm having issues sharing my lives into the 21-day Go Live challenge. Anyone else? Is that because you can't pick up the URL or you can't pick up the share button? Can you just be a little bit more specific, Susan? And we'll see if we can navigate that for you. Hi, Hero. How are you? Crystal, hello. How are you? Great to see you on. I'm really looking forward to the movement. Awesome. I'm excited about the kindness movement. Awesome. So let's get on that acts of kindness movement. Just do something nice for somebody somewhere between the 14th and the 30th of September, and you will be in the draw to running some cool prizes just for doing something nice. That's not too bad, I wouldn't have thought. So Unit 10 in the social media group is where you'll find the information on that. Okay. Oh, how beautiful is that? So we're not even on the challenge yet, the movement, and Judy and Bob have just delivered a gift basket for someone special, totally anonymously. How cool is that? That is going to drive that person mad. Judy and Bob. Yeah, can you imagine receiving a basket? It's like, who is that from? Who's it from? That's so cool. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you a few things. So even though you may not be running a group at the moment, do not think that this is not going to be useful information for you in the future. So I'm just trying to get up my live. There we go. Turn the volume down just so I can check on my screen. So share away. So what I'm going to reference here is my social media group, which some of you will actually be watching from. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the old version. This is what it looks like on the new version. Okay, so what's the first thing that stands out to you guys? Old version? New version. Can you see what's happened to the image? The images in groups is worse than anywhere else. There's slight movements in on other pages because all the dimensions are different, but groups seems to be the worst. Now, what I would mention to you with this is keep in mind 90% of people, if not more, are on mobile. So if your graphic still looks okay on mobile, I wouldn't necessarily run out and go and change your graphic because you've come to the new version and go, oh, that doesn't fit anymore. I'm going to go and change that, to make it fit. But just keep in mind that more than 90% of people are on mobile. So if your graphic still looks okay on mobile, you may not need to change it. But this is not ideal. So I'll leave that up to you, but obviously something to be wary of if that we've gone from a nice clean graphic to a skewed graphic because all the image sizes are different with the new version. So that's something to be mindful of. Obviously with the new version, we've got things going on the left and things going on the top. So about, discussion, units, announcements, rooms, all the rest of it. And then there's all this stuff on the left-hand side. So on the old version, we used to be able to go here and go more and go edit group settings. And then everything would be in here regarding everything to do with our group and our group settings. Oh, did that default to the new version? You cheeky little bugger. Did you see what happened there? I was in the old version and I went to group settings and it defaulted me to this new version. So I'm going back. With this, definitely fill this out, guys. If you believe you're missing features in your groups, you must fill this out. Otherwise, we're going to end up with the same issues moving forward. So if you've got an issue, say yes. Tell them, you know, what it is. I'll just skip that for now, so I can go back. That's very tricky of Facebook to do that. I'm going to try that again. That didn't do that to me yesterday. Interesting. Okay, so I'm in group settings now. So we've got the name, the type of the group, the description, the color, the questions and all. Everything sort of sits in here. Not so much anymore with the new version. So here you'll find a lot of that stuff in settings over on the left-hand side here, but you are going to find things taken out of settings and sitting on the side here. So something inside group settings previously was the membership questions. Now it's sitting here on the side. It's not in settings, it's sitting up here on the side. So a lot of things have been moved around with the new version, and what you're used to in this version of group settings. So what I would encourage anybody with a group that's running a group, go into your group settings, which is the screen that I'm on at the moment, and make sure this is perfect, because you want all of this to carry over to the new version. So the description of your group, you want it to be a social learning group. I'll get onto that in a second. You might want tags, you might want a color, you want to attach to your page. You want the name to reflect the name of the page, not a whole lot of numbers. It's just inexcusable, guys, if you've got a group and the web address of your group is a whole lot of numbers. How are people meant to find a group that is a whole lot of numbers? So make sure you come in here and change the address to whatever you want the address of the group to be. That's just so simple. But I see so many links to groups and the web address to groups that are just a whole lot of numbers, because they haven't come in here and, you know, made it specific to the name of the group. What kind of privacy settings do you want? Who can post when? All the rest of it. Go through this in the old version with a fine-tooth comb, because some of this is missing in the new version. So make sure your group is set up in every way that you want it on the old version, even if you need to switch back temporarily before you get to this version, because some things, you know, are missing. Now, one of the things I want to point out with settings, any of you that create a group have one. You've got one that you could edit now, or you're going to create a group somewhere in the future that you find a need for. You absolutely want your group to be, so mine's already here because it's transferred from the old version, but every single one of you want a social learning group. Okay, the only way you can get units, so if I go back to the old version or the new version and I go to the units tab, the only way you can store trainings, the only way you can have welcome posts, like unit 1 is welcome, unit 2 is special training, unit 3 is specific to attraction marketing, unit 4 is previous Facebook lives, unit 5's they've got different updates, questions unit, you know, all the rest of it. You can't have this unless your group is a social learning group. So you need to go to settings, change the group type to that, and make sure that you've got the unit sections there. But here's a big change, okay? Here, I could come to the discussion and I could, when this catches up with me, type something in here. I'll have to remember what I did so I can go and delete it. I'm live now. So I'm going to go and type something. So this is a test post, okay? So this is my post here, okay? I'm going to post this. So some people will be thinking, what the hell's going on? Okay, so I've got my test post. From here, I can click these 3 little dots and I can add this to one of my units and I can create a new unit. So I could create a new unit here and go, what is this unit? It's a test unit. And I could have whatever it is here. I can have a title there and I can have, you know, something here and then I can create the unit. This is going to confuse people in the group if they're not on this live. Okay, easy peasy. So I can add to the units as I go. I've created a unit. It's automatically added it to unit 11. So I've got my new unit. Awesome. In the new version, you can't do that. So let me do this in the new version. I'm going to go to Home in the new version. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Create a post. I'm going to put test post 2. I'm going to post that. So I'm following exactly the same steps, guys. I come to these 3 dots, add post to a unit. Can you see the difference? The test unit's there because I just created it in the old version, but I have no ability here to create a new unit. So did you see in the old version, I could do my post and just create a new unit right there and then. The new version doesn't allow you to do that. So if you're having problems with units, just be aware on the new version, you have to create the unit first in isolation before you can post anything to it. So yes, my test post, I could come in here and put that in my unit 11, but let's say unit 11 is not there, or my test unit is not there. What I have to do is go to the units button, and I can do that in a couple of different places, but the easiest way to do it is create unit, and have a look at the message here, guys. Admin features will be added to the new Facebook soon. If you aren't able to find something you're looking for, try switching to the classic version in the meantime. This is right front and center because groups have got a lot of sorting out to do yet. There's still a lot of glitchy things with groups. Hopefully, they'll bring that option that I'm showing you now to the new version as well, because for those of you that do create units, it's very handy just to post something and then create a new unit right there and then. But just so you're aware, you need to create the unit first before you can go and post anything to it. So I would need to click in here, and I would need to create my test unit here and have all that ready to go before I could then go and do my post and then save it to my unit. So that's quite a big change for those of you that use the unit sections in groups. Those of you that have groups, you can only use the units section. It's very tongue-tied. You can only use the units section if you have a social learning group. So if you don't see the option to create units, then you don't have a social learning group, and you just need to change the setting in your page, okay? So that's something to be very aware of. What else did I want to show you? The other thing you'll find with when you create the unit, so I'm going to create another unit. So I'm going to call, what was the other one? So I'm going to call this unit test unit 2. So when you create units, gobbledygook there, it's going to post it in the units, but it's also going to post it on my timeline. So if I go back to the group itself, what I'm going to see in my timeline now, I got out of the group altogether. Get back into the group. I'm going to see, where did it go? It didn't post. I should see, that's the test post. Let's go to the units. That didn't work. Okay, let's try that again. Create unit. So unit 13, test unit 13. Description, test unit 13. 13, save. Now, okay. Test unit 11. Oh, test unit 2 did save. Now we've got test unit 13. So if I go back to my, I would have had to refresh, that's all. I didn't refresh my screen. So let's refresh the screen. Now, depending on what kind of group you have, you may not want to, and go back to discussion, you may not want to have all this posted to your newsfeed because it doesn't add any value. It's just going to confuse people. Like I would be confusing people with these posts in the group. So that's me going live. But what I'm going to see here, see how it says I created a new unit. Now, you might want to leave that there to let people know, but unless that serves any kind of purpose for you, if you delete that here, so just remember when you create a unit, it goes to the news feed and the unit. So if I delete the post, it deletes the post, but it does not delete my unit. So if you go and create a whole lot of new units in a group somewhere in the future, say one of you is thinking, I might start a group in the future for a group of people or for my network marketing team or something like that, and you go and create all these new units and put information in it. You don't want all of this hitting your news feed of the group because you're just going to confuse the crap out of people. So I can get rid of all of these. That was actually a post, delete the post. And what should happen, I don't want to save it, I wanted to delete it, discard. I'll come back and do that later. But if I go back to, now I'm in the old version. New version, okay. So I've just mucked that up then. But it should work the same way. So when I go to the units section, I'll still find down here, test unit 11, 12, and 13, they're still there, although I deleted them from the news feed. So it doesn't, you can delete it from the news feed without deleting it from the unit section. So for those of you that want clean groups, that's something, you know, that's important to know as well. The other thing is how you organize things within a unit. So on the new, where's my new version here? If I go into a unit, this looks very different. And so, no, that's the old version. That's the old version. That's the old version. Let's go to the new version. I'm confusing myself. Are you guys following along with me here or are you getting confused? Switch to the new Facebook. When you post multiple posts within a unit, sometimes we want to rearrange them because they sit on top of each other. I do this with my training boot camps in my coaching community. So when I do them, they sit on top of each other, but I want them in order. So when I do the days 1, 2, and 3, day 3 sits on the top, but I go and reorganize it and do day 1, do day 3 afterwards. So that's different now as well. So if I come into any unit, say unit 2, and I click here, so this is missing for some people at the moment. I've got it now, but can you see this little option here that says reorder posts? That is still missing for some people in groups, which means you're stuck with what you've put in the unit and you can't reorder it. So while you've got the old version and you can switch back to the classic version, make sure you've got everything in the order that you want it, and in case you don't have that yet. But this enables me to go and move around the order of things in this unit. So that's important to know, guys. If you can't find it, go and reorganize it in your old version. So when it switches to the new version, if you don't have this little one here yet, that you're all good to go. Okay, and just know or just report when you go back to the old version, I'm missing the reorder post button, and deal with it that way. Okay. So obviously it's just like anything, it's just a matter of getting used to. Things appear in different places. You've got to navigate things in a different way. In the old version in groups, everything was sitting in, you know, edit group settings all nicely. Now we've got some in the settings tab, some sitting out on their own. It's just like, wow, where is everything? But there are still a lot of glitches in groups. So switch back to the old version if you still can, but tell Facebook what is wrong. So if you're missing anything in your group or there's anything out of sorts, that you can report that and hopefully they can fix it for you. Okay. So I'm just checking on some things that you guys are saying. Okay, back to Susan's issue. Share button is there, but when I get to the next stage, it asks me for the name of the group and it doesn't pull up the group or any group. So then just the quickest way around that, and I have got a video in there regarding this, is click on your video and just get the URL and copy and paste it into the group instead of sharing it. That's the other way around of it. Sometimes groups just don't pop up when you click the share button. As I mentioned yesterday or the day before, things are really glitchy at the moment with Facebook, and we're having errors that we don't normally have. But the workaround for that, Susan, is just to pick up the URL of that that video and just copy the URL and paste it. Go to the video challenge group then yourself and just paste the URL, rather than trying to actually share it from Facebook itself. Does that make sense? Yes, I can't share it directly from the share button under the video. I have to copy the URL and paste it into the group. Exactly what I'm just saying there. Hey, Diane, lovely to see you on. Special red wine and champagne and Hague's chocolates. Woo, that sounds beautiful, Judy and Bob. Well done. Image is bigger. Yeah, dimensions have all changed. Heather, that happened to me once as well, and I tried to share it. I just went to another device and did it. Well, there's another option as well. What the heck, Facebook? I saw that, you sneaky bugger. I defaulted to the new version. It defaulted to the new version, could be because you have a tab open in the new version of that group. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's just really weird that it did that, because when I've been going back and forth, it's at least stayed in that version. Weird. Who knows? Maddie doesn't like the new version of Facebook. No, nope, it sure does not for units. I tried a test post too. I send a welcome. Hi, Helen. I send a welcome on my group page for new members, and it was on the right-hand side titled Write a Post. So you know how to do this now. I can't see what on the new version. Thank you. I had a welcome on my group page for new members. Oh, you know, it must be there because good point. Let me look. Olive's been doing that for me, so maybe Olive's got some input here. Where is that little post, Olive, where it says welcome? Oh no, that's just to my media. I think Olive's on. That's a good question, Emma. I haven't looked lately. So I know what Emma's. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? Sorry. I'll show you what Emma's talking about on the old version, and hopefully Olive can chime in. So I may not. Crikey, Facebook. Okay, so here, is this what you're talking about, Emma? So you have 5 new members this week. Right to post the welcome there, and that's right post there, and that automatically generates a post with their names and they're tagged in it. So we do this all the time in the social media group. So on the new version, where is that? It must be here, unless Olive, you've been diverting back to the old version. Is Olive still on? Can't see comments there. Good question. What if I go see all? No, that just takes me to my media. Good question. Let me just stop sharing. The number of new members is now under members at the top. So not the number, the introducing new members. Is that what you're talking about, Olive? Top bar menu. Okay, let's navigate this together. If Emma's got the problem, then other people would have the problem. You always want to welcome your new people into the group. So we go to the new version. So do I need to go into members, Olive? Oh, you do too. There it is, Emma. Thank you, Olive. I appreciate that. So you actually have to go into the members button on the top and open up that page. And then it's still there. So interestingly, it's hidden behind the members tab rather than sitting on your front screen there. So great question, Emma. And thank you, Olive, for your input. Well done. Okay, just checking if there's anything else here. Confused, hard to see on my phone. Okay, kind of following. Thank you, Helen. Okay, thanks for your input there. So those of you that are running groups, I mean, that may be something that you want to watch, you know, on a computer to sort of navigate. Particularly important if you are running a group. I'll just reiterate, while you've still got access to the old version, make sure everything is set up the way you want it to be set up in your group. Just go through all your settings, go through all your group options, make sure all your membership questions are there, make sure the name of your page is correct, make sure you've you know, just got all the settings that you want. So when you're forced to the new version and you can't go back, that you're not stuck in the position of you don't know how to fix something because it hasn't transferred over to the new version. So groups, as I mentioned earlier, are the glitchiest kind of page that we're dealing with. Well, it's not a page, it's a group, you know what I mean. It's the glitchiest one with things that are, you know, all over the place, different to navigate, different ways to do things. So just, you know, check over things. And as anything, it's just a matter of getting used to it, okay? All right, so for those of you that are running groups, or even those, as I mentioned earlier, regarding those of you that maybe one day you want to set up a group, the biggest tip I'll give for you regarding setting up a group, and I just thought of something. Things are going to be, there's going to have to be a lot of training updated, because I've got a groups bootcamp which shows you how to set up a group, but the functionalities are going to be different now. Where you go and find things is going to be is different. But I do have a groups bootcamp in the coaching community regarding, are you ready for a group? What's the purpose of the group? Do you have a need for a group? Can you piggyback on somebody else's group? You know, those kind of things. And if you've got a group, how do you keep the group motivated? How do you, you know, get more engagement in your group? All those kind of things. So that groups bootcamp is available in my coaching community if you need to know more about groups. But that's just a little bit of an overview. For those of you that are going to create groups in the future, the most important thing, which I was getting to, is to create a social learning group. That's really what I want to get across to you, because if you don't change the settings to what is called a social learning group, you can't utilize the unit section. And the unit section as a group is one of the main reasons that you would want to set up a group, is that you can store things systematically. You could do training and have different trainings under each unit, and it can make a group really valuable by storing the information in the unit section, okay? So I hope that's helpful to you guys. I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.